for IT service strategy management. That is the first process of, the service strategy. Can you tell me?
Perspective, position, plan, and pattern.
Can you explain me a little bit about this? What do you mean by perspective?
Perspective is basically vision and the mission. Okay.
Right.
Position basically to understand where we are. And plan is more about the how and it's a plan, action plan basically, what, when, and how.
Right.
And pattern is a kind of validation.
Right. Exactly. Okay. So are you able to see my screen? Right.
Yeah, I can.
Okay. So also I told you yesterday the meaning of service, the service definition according to ITIL. Okay. Then we discussed, the ITIL framework, why we are using it. Okay.
Yep.
Why everybody, want to adopt the ITIL life cycle. What is the benefit of this? Okay. So we know it. We have some, the best practices for service management.
Yep.
Okay. And if we will use the ITIL framework, it means we can deliver a successful service to the client. So if I'm something delivering to the client, that something is my value. Okay. And value part, very well, the utility and warranty we are delivering, right? So that is the definition of service. Then we discuss the assets, right?
Yep.
So assets, are very important for everyone, right? Okay. So if I'm talking about me, if I'm talking about you, okay, if I will talk about any organization, right? So everyone, want to increase their assets. Okay. If you have some vision and mission, okay, so definitely you will go, for increase your assets. It doesn't mean that. So basically two kind of assets we discussed, right? So one is visible asset, one is non-visible asset.
Yeah.
Okay. So visible asset is my, the capital amount, the information, the application, all these are my visible, right? So, and the invisible, we have the knowledge, skills, okay, processes, right? So now if I will take an example of yours, okay, so you are here to do ITIL intermediate, right? So what you will get here? You will get the knowledge. Okay. So you will get the knowledge in terms of the intermediate level, ITIL, service strategy. Okay. And after, getting this knowledge, what you will do? You will use your knowledge in some process. Okay. And finally, you will provide some benefit to the organization. Right? That's why you are doing, right? So just assume, right, if you have a team of 10 people, okay, and out of 10, 5 are IT. I'm just taking here the ITIL Foundation certificate, right? So if out of 10, if there are, 5 candidates are ITIL Foundation certified. Okay. So the level of thinking of those ITIL, 5 candidates, certified candidates will be equal. They think, equally. Rather than if I'm taking, the other 5 candidates, okay, they are experienced, but what ITIL tells, okay, so there will be, some difference between these 5 and these 5, which is certified, which is not certified. Are you agree or not?
Agree.
Right? So if you are making all the 10 people, certified, okay, the level of thinking, the level of knowledge, the level of everything will be same. And we can deliver a successful thing.
Okay.
Right? So this thing, so so this is a kind of improvement. Okay. So if we need any improvement in our team, so CSI simple definition is, if you are doing any alignment, realignment of any process, any service, any people, so that is my improvement. Okay. So if you are, gaining your knowledge, if you are, adding, some value on you after doing some certification, that is very good. And everybody needs to, get more and more.
Okay.
Right. So everyone running behind assets.
Okay.
Okay. Organization also running behind assets. You also running behind assets. I'm also running behind assets.
Okay.
Okay. Then we discuss the supporting services, right? Internal and external. Then SLP we discuss, right? Service level package.
Yeah.
In service level package, we have main three services: core, enabling, and enhancing, right? So core, which is running, which is for long run. Enabling means which is supporting to the core services, and enhancing means if I want to enhance the service, so I will use the enhancing services. So value we discuss, okay. So value is defined by the customer, affordable means to people. Yeah.
Here we are talking about core, enabling and enhancing, right?
Right.
What is the difference between core and enabling?
So core and enabling means, if you need a service, right? And for that service, I need, something, which can enable that core service, supporting services, which is supporting to the core services. That is my enabling service.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so enhancing means if I need enhancement on that service, so that is the enhancement. But if you are, working on a core service, so you are giving some support, right? So that support service means the enabled service.
Okay, noted.
Okay. Then value, we discussed, I told you the value part. So value means the utility and warranty, and you know very well it, right? So utility and warranty. So this is the area how you will create the value. Creating value means the business outcomes, the preferences, the perception, right? So this is the creation of it. Okay, this graph. Okay, yesterday we were talking about this graph. So I will share here, one slide. Then you will be able to understand. Okay, let me open it. Okay. So this is the points here, right? So first, what is saying? Customer point is the reference value. The reference value is based on do it yourself or existing arrangement, right?
Okay.
So if I will go back on this slide, so this is here based on DIY strategy or existing arrangements. Okay. So here we have the customer point of the reference value. Okay, do it yourself. Okay, so this is the existing arrangement. Second point, we have the positive difference. So here we have some positive difference, right? Yes. So what is this? This positive difference of the service is based on the perceived additional benefit and gains provided by the service provider. Okay, so this is the meaning of positive differences.
Okay.
Then we have some negative differences here. Okay, yes. So what do you mean by negative? The negative differences of the services is the perception of what the customer would lose by investing in the service. Okay, and second line, the service provider can influence that this area by listening to the customer requirement and matching the service features to them. Okay, some losses. Yeah.
All right, noted.
Okay, so this is my negative, and then we have one more thing, that is my economic value. Okay, so before this, the net difference is the actual perception that the customer has of how much better the services is than the reference value after discounting the negative differences. Okay, so the difference between actual and the negative. So positive, negative ka jo they are doing some the difference. So this is my customer has how much the services than the references value after discounting the negative references. This area will drive customer decision to investment in the service or not.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the area. So this is the net difference. How much invest? Okay, to the service or not. Okay. And the last this graph, this is the economic value. What it says? The economic value is the total value that the customer receives the service to deliver. This is my total value. Okay. So this is my graph. Okay. So this is the customer perception of value. Okay. Now, then value chain we discussed, right? So value realize, the word coming here. So value realize means what customer is getting, right? So we are meeting the customer expectations or not. Okay. So value is realized when a service is provided to an external customer and meet their expectations. Okay. So this is my realized. Value is measured in terms of whether a business outcome has been met or not. Okay. Then value capture, right? We did. Then the utility and warranty. So these are the parts of the value, main parts. Okay. So utility, what customer is getting, and this is fit for purpose. This is also called the usefulness. Okay. This is called usefulness. And the warranty, the second part, it's called, the assurance for usefulness. And this is fit for use. Okay. And this is value created, utility plus warranty. Okay. So effect of improved utility, I have been two points we are taking here, right? So these graphs we discussed yesterday also. Then communicating utility in terms of outcome supported, in terms of ownership cost and risk avoided, right? So this is we are communicating. This is we are communicating warranty.
Yep.
Assets we discussed very well. The service asset, the customer assets, right? And the strategic assets also. So then we have the capabilities and resources, right? Okay. So then we discuss the provider, service providers, right? So I told you the entities, the organization entities we have. Main entities we have the customer client, okay, the service provider and the suppliers. I told you yesterday this, right? So difference I also told you, right? So who is creating the service? Okay, who are delivering the service? Those are my service providers. Okay, who are purchasing the service? Okay, so those are my customers. Okay, and suppliers for making the service and product, what material I need, I'm taking from the supplier, right? So here, this is the relationship between the service provider and the customer and supplier also, right? All are my what? All are my stakeholders. Okay, so I asked you, I think, so who are the stakeholders, right? What is the definition of stakeholders? So stakeholders are those who are positively or negatively impacted by any project, any service. Okay, all are my stakeholders. Okay, so now here we have the types of service provider. So I told you that 3 types of service provider we have: internal, external, and the sphere unit. Okay, internal service provider, which is providing services internally within same organization but different functions. So those are my internal service provider. If something you are delivering, to the customer and customer, so those are my external. And shared means both. Okay. So here again, we discuss the defining services, how we will define the services. So these are the steps: define the market, understand the customer, quantify the outcomes, classify the visualize. So this we did, right? So how you will define the market and identify the customer? So based on industry, geographical, demographic, corporate relationship. So through this, we will identify the market, identify the customers. So then you need to understand the customer. Understanding the customer involves what desired business outcomes, what result they need. What business outcomes means, what business they need. Customer assets, what assets they have. Constraint also we discussed yesterday, right? So I have given you the example of the project constraints. Okay, so project constraint means without time, scope, and the cost, I can't start the project. Okay, so these are my constraints. How value will be perceived and measured. So this is the understanding the customer, and then qualifying the outcomes, qualifying the results. Okay, work with the customer to qualify each outcome and documents, understanding how service impact outcomes, and therefore what type and what level of service needed. This is my qualify outcomes. This is the result I'm qualifying, right? Then classify and visualize the service, mapping service archetypes and customer assets. Then especially helpful for those service providers who were required to deliver whatever service business demand in the past without having a clear strategy. Okay, the strategy should be clear. What I need, what I am delivering, what expectations, meeting or not, all things, right? So this should be clear. Okay. Then understand the opportunities, right? So do you know what do you mean by opportunities?
Opportunities basically business demands.
Right. Okay. So we need to understand what are the opportunities for me. Okay. So are the opportunities that an IT service provider could exploit to meet business needs of the customer or not? Okay. Just a sec, the Shivali is calling me. Just a sec.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Shivali. Yeah, recording is going on. Don't worry. Okay. So she is very, conscious about the recording. Let me check the recording is going on or not. Just a second.
I saw somewhere it was started.
Started, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I also started. Okay. Let it be. Okay. So, so we need to understand the opportunity, what opportunities we have, right? So defined by a set of business outcomes, which can be facilitated by a service. Okay. So this is my opportunity. Okay. Defining services and outcome-based definition of services. Okay. A proper definition of service takes into account the context of in which customer receive value from the services. Okay. So defining services, the meaning, what is the meaning of defining services? The result based on the service. So what service definition is according to ITIL, that is some value we are delivering. Okay. And that value facilitating some outcomes. That is my result. Okay. And customer want to achieve without cost and risk. Okay. So here, if yesterday also I asked you risk, right? So risk is my uncertain event. Okay. So two kind of risk we have, main. Okay. So main two risk we have good and bad. So good means opportunities always. If you have good risk, if you are finding good risk, so that is a kind of opportunity you are finding. Okay. Now, in other hand, if I'm talking about the bad risk, so bad risk is always about, the threats. Okay. So opportunity means you will get some benefit, and threat means that is a cost. Okay. So this is my opportunity and threats. Then define service unit and packages. So service package, service level package, I told you that this is my service level package, which include the core services, okay, enabling services and the enhancing services. Okay, so core services, and here you can see the core services and enhancing, because for enabling services I need, this is the supporting here. This is the supporting services for the core services. This is for the enabling services. Okay, so this is called the service package, service level package also. Okay, so this includes options, cloud computing, and segmentations. Okay, and here some these strategies for customer satisfaction. So here you can see the it's nice to have a utility. So utility, I mean, if we are delivering, complete utility, successful utility to customer, right? So that is my the level of certification high. Okay. So here, we have nice to have utility. Okay. Excitement factors and performance factors. Okay. So what service we are delivering, to the customer, it meets the customer expectations. That's it. What customer want, okay? So they will, first, while you are creating a service, so customer will provide you some expectations. Okay, I need this, okay. And if you are, delivering, service to the customer and it meets the expectations of the customer, it means your strategy is satisfied with the customer satisfaction. Right? So this graph shows like this. Then service economics, we have service portfolio management. Okay, so this is one process. Financial, management of IT service. Okay, so what main 5 processes for strategy? First, we have the service strategy, IT service strategy management, where we discuss the 4 P's, right? So, perspective, position, plan, and pattern, right? Yep. Then we have the the portfolio management, right? So portfolio management, I told you yesterday. So one example I have given you of a builder, right? So how you will see your portfolio, how you will check, okay, what portfolio I have. Okay, so in ITIL, the portfolio management means there are 3 things. There are 3 subparts of the portfolio management. First, we have the catalog management. Okay. Second, we have the pipeline management, pipeline services, catalog services, pipeline services, and the retired services in a portfolio.
Yeah.
Okay. So also I have given you one example of a builder, right? So if a builder has different locations, okay, and that different locations, they have multiple projects. Okay, so what is that? That is a kind of portfolio the builder has, right? Again, if I will take an example of the organization structure. Okay, so organization structure define the roles and responsibilities of organization. Okay, so I think I have given one more example regarding this. So if I'm saying that I have portfolio 1, okay, that is my strategic business unit 1, and under strategic business unit 1, I have only the telecommunication projects and I have only the telecommunication operators.
Okay.
Okay, so that is my portfolio. So I will check on that portfolio. Okay, what are my current services? What are my current products? Okay, which is running, which is for which I am doing the support. Okay, so that is my catalog services.
Yeah.
Which is running, okay, and which is I'm doing something for that, right? So that is my service catalog. Second, we have the pipeline services. Okay, so pipeline means something is under construction. I'm making something under development, under testing, right? So this is my pipeline of services. And retired means which is retired, which is no more. Okay, so this makes the complete portfolio that is called the service portfolio management. Okay, so financial management may comes. Okay, there are 3 things in financial management: budgeting, billing, and one more thing. We will see it, right? So how we will budget, how we will bill. Okay, costing, budgeting, costing, and billing. Okay. First we do the budget, then we will provide the cost, and the last we do the billing with the customer, right? So these are 3 main things comes under the financial management. So this means calculate, forecast, and track cost and income related to services. And we have ROI. So ROI, this is my return on investment. Okay. So return on investment means if I am investing something for a service, so I should have some return after some years, few years, right? So a measurement of the expected or actual benefit of an investment, that is called ROI, return on investment.
ROI, is it one of the process?
No, this is not the process. So here, it's talking about the service economics. Okay, this is not a process, but finally we need to calculate the ROI.
Okay.
Right? So here the economic service, this is, right?
So service economics comes under what? Is it general topic or it comes under?
Yeah, it's general topic.
General topic. All right.
Okay, it's not come under anywhere, so it's general. What are the service economics we have, right?
Okay.
Then business impact analysis. Establish the relative priorities of service based on their effects on the business if they are not available for a period of time. BIA, right? Business impact. So here, business case. So return on investment, they are showing the business case. So do you know what is the business case? Have you heard the business case ever?
No.
Before?
No.
Okay, let me tell you. So while you are creating a project, okay. So if I will come, in a little bit into project management, right here. So business case focus there, right? So while you are creating a project, so you should have the high level description about the project. Okay. So based on that, the high level, you create a business case. So the business case definition, according to project management, okay, according to PMP, according to PRINCE2, what it says, it's a viable, it's a desirable, and it's achievable. What do you mean by viable, desirable, and achievable? Viable means project can deliver a product. This is the meaning of viable. Desirable means I should have some benefit on that. Okay. And achievable means, so I need to do some, the balance between the risk, balance between the benefit. I need to take care of that. That is called the achievements. So business case is my viable, desirable, and achievable. In a simple layman language, if I will tell you the business case, so business case is my what in which I am maintaining the reason. First, why I am doing this. Okay. Then second, what is the reason? Why I am doing this? What is the reason? Okay. And then what are the expected benefits? What will be the benefits? What will be the risk? What time I will take to create for creating this? Okay, how much cost I need for this? So everything we are putting in a business case. Okay, and this business case is running all over the project life cycle. Okay, so now here if I'm talking about the project life cycle, so project life cycle means project will initiate first, then plan I need to do it, then execution I need to do it, and then monitoring and controlling, and then closing. So this is my life cycle. So over the life cycle, I need to take care. So there should be a business justification. So business case is also my business justification. Okay. So that is the business case we have. So here we have different approvals also. Different roles involving here in a business case. Because if I'm saying that I need to put on budget, okay, so business group owner will be put the budget there, right? If I'm saying that I need the resources there, so estimated resources. So also the program manager or the project manager will put it the estimated resources there.
Okay.
Okay. So this is clear to you, business case?
Yeah, clear. No problem.
Okay. Then pre-program ROI and post-program ROI. Okay. So finally we are calculating the return on investment. Okay. So pre-program means techniques for quantitatively analyzing an investment in service management, and techniques for retroactively analyzing an investment. Okay. Post means after posting, and pre means before. Okay, before program. So we are calculating the ROI both the sides.
Okay.
Pre-program and post-program.
Okay.
Then sourcing strategy, deciding what to source, sourcing structures, multi-vendor sourcing, service provider references, and sourcing governance. So we will see later on governance, everything, right? So now I told you that for a process, I need some inputs and outputs.
Yep.
Okay. So from service design, what inputs I need? So these are my inputs. So service strategy inputs, inputs to business cases, and service portfolio service design package, SDP. So this SDP means service design package, which includes the new service, which includes the major changes, and which includes the retired services. SDP. This is called SDP.
Okay.
Service design package. Okay. Then updated service model, service portfolio updates, including the service catalog. Okay. Service catalog is my, the part of the service portfolio. Financial estimates and reports, design related knowledge and information, right? So knowledge and information is why what? These are my assets. Okay. One more thing here showing the knowledge management in, service knowledge management information. This is called SKMS. Okay. So this SKMS is the complete database for all.
Okay.
Okay. So it's a, in transition, yesterday I told you many services, right? Many processes, right? So I told you release and deployment, transition planning and support, change management, configuration management, asset management, right? So one more, I told you yesterday, that is my knowledge management.
Yep.
So knowledge management is my complete documentation about all. One more thing I will, I discussed yesterday that I told you that lesson learned is there for a project. So what that lesson learned means, what I did wrong and what I did, good. What went well, what went wrong. That is, I'm maintaining enough lesson learned. The same thing here, we have the knowledge management system, SKMS. Okay. So in which we have all the things. We have the CMS, we have the CI. CMS is my configuration management system. Okay. CI means configuration items. CMDB is there. Other databases we have also in SKMS like user profile, supplier name, everything. So we are storing here, that is called the knowledge. Okay. And what output we are getting? Vision and mission, strategies and strategic plans, priorities. Okay. So here one thing, the priorities means, so priority we should know. As a strategic person, I should know what are my priorities first. Okay. So if I will take an example of so have you heard Agile, right? Agile and Scrum.
Yeah.
Okay. So in a Scrum methodology, okay, Agile is a methodology, and under Agile we have different methods. Scrum is just one of the method of Agile, right? So Agile in the Scrum, we have a role that is called product owner. Okay. So this is for projects. So product owner. So what is the role of a project manager? Product owner. What is the role of, what is the responsibility of a product owner? So he prioritizes the product backlog. What feature when? Okay. What is my important feature? So this is a part of strategy. Priorities. I need to prioritize the things, right?
Yep.
Service charter, including service package and details of utility and warranty. So charter means where we have, the high level description about the service. So project charter, I told you. So in a charter, okay, if I'm talking other hand, the project charter. So in charter, we have what are the business objectives. Okay. What are the project objectives? What are the strategic plan? Okay. What are the, so everything, high level description about the project we are storing in a charter, project charter. So here if I'm talking about service charter, so high level description about the service. That is, we are including in a service charter. Okay. Including the service package, the service level package we know, the core, enhancing and enabling, right? And details of utility and warranty also. This is my value.
Okay.
Financial information and budget. So what are my financial information and what is the budget? Documented patterns of business activity. PBA, that is the demand. Okay. So PBA means that is, patterns of business activity. Okay. And service model also. So service model is a kind of flow chart. Okay. So again we have the inputs and output from service transition. Transition service means so if we are doing some knowledge transfer from one to another service.
Okay.
If we are delivering a service, okay, and I am doing a knowledge transfer, also I can say, from one environment to another environment. I am delivering something, that is my transfer.
Okay.
Okay. So information and feedback. So these are, so every process, for each process, the simple definition of a process is some inputs I need and some result I will provide, that is my output.
All right, no problem.
Okay, so this is the service transition inputs and output for a service strategy. Okay, and this is for service operation and CSI. So service operations means what we need: operating risk, operating cost, information of total cost of ownership, calculation, actual performance data. Okay, this is my input for service operations, and the strategic output we are getting the vision and mission for service portfolio, policy, strategy, and strategic plan. Again, the priorities, the financial budget, the demand forecast, everything, right? So the same thing we are getting as an output for service strategy. Okay. Now the CSI inputs we have result of customer and user satisfaction survey. Okay. These inputs I need for CSI, inputs to business case and the service portfolio, feedback on strategies and policies, financial information, service reports, request RFC. Okay, request for change.
Okay.
So request for change is my, if I am saying that any request, any change request I am getting for improvement. Okay, so that request will go from this CSI.
Okay.
Okay, any improvement, any quality things, if we are initiating. Okay, I need to improve this quality, for this service. So that is done by the continuous service improvement.
Okay.
Yeah. You have any question, please ask me.